This wasn't just a story about sexual abuse survivors, but this was a story about strength. This was a story about courage. This was a story about redemption and victory. You yourself may not have been sexually abused as a child, but chances are you have a family member or you know someone who has been. This book is a true encouragement, and I would recommend this book over and over again.
And reading that book was life-changing. It was amazing. I started reading that book on the subway and I could not put it down. I looked up and tears were coming down my eyes because I know that I've been a victim of abuse, and she talked about some life-changing things in that book. I tell you, that's a book that must be read, a book that's truly a blessing, and I'm just excited to see the great things that her book is going to do because it's really a transparent book.
When I first contemplated reading Journey Through the Furnace, God is There, my initial expectation was that this was going to be a book that had a textbook-like discourse about the topic of sexual abuse. Well, I was pleasantly surprised and enlightened because Sharron was able to take the reader through her own personal experience in the area of sexual abuse. And the reader was able to feel her pain and the isolation, but more importantly, the reader was able to celebrate with her recovery and victory over this atrocity. I will say that I recommend this book to anyone, male or female, who's experienced this, or even if you know someone who experienced it, because it really talks about the ability to love.
I can tell you with all sincerity that this is a fantastic book, and I purchased the book because I'm friends with Sharron and I was just being nice, but when I started reading it that Saturday night about 8 p.m., I couldn't put the book down. It was that engaging. It was fantastic, and one of the biggest takeaways for me is that it was so encouraging to read how God can take any situation, anything we've been through in the past, and turn it around for our good. And this book is particularly good for anyone who's been through any childhood challenges, through sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. God can use any and everything you've been through to make it a message for others, and Sharron Dansby is a perfect example of that. I encourage you to run out, get the book, get it for some other people who need to be encouraged in their testimony, in their walk with Christ, and it will bless them tremendously. Again, I say, God can do anything, and Sharron Dansby is a testimony to that. Thank you so much for listening, and be blessed.